given the time constraint, I'll be very brief and I will not.
Sir, you speak. There's no worries. Please speak.
And I will not get into the political polemics that are dominating the debate for last couple of hours. I do not support this resolution because it has fallacious foundation in the narrative and in the argument. For instance, we must recognize the fact that the very discipline of Indology, Deputy Chairman Sir, the very discipline of Indology came to India after Europeans came, including the British. Indology became a subject for which Mr. Rakesh Sharma, Professor Rakesh Sharma has taken recourse to, is actually became an academic discipline after the Europeans and the British came. So Dr. Rakesh Sharma must recognize first two things, that the idea of modern historiography, to which he refers without taking this particular title, also comes from British and Europeans as far as India is concerned. During Vedic times or after that, there is no search or there is no research of Indian philosophy and Indian traditions. So we are actually following the same Western concepts and Western idiom about which he has very strong words to criticize. While doing that, he has not taken into account the simple synonymity that he uses, which is totally wrong and fallacious in the sense that he mixes terms like culture, civilization, tradition, religion, ethos and nation. All these terms are mixed for making a political argument which is actually covered by some kind of semi-philosophical statement. It is essentially a regressive nationalist defense in the name of Jnana Parampara. So I think it is necessary to understand that these terms do not mean the same things. For instance, in Indonesia, majority of the Muslims have names which are like Ram Murti and Krishna Murti. Many of the names are so-called Hindu names. There are many temples in Indonesia. In many places, Ramayana is performed, Mahabharata is performed, and yet Indonesia is a Muslim country. So tradition, culture, religion, epics do not necessarily have national boundaries. We must not mix up national boundaries with national cultures and national civilization. National civilization is different. For instance, in Australia, many aborigines are following the Indian lifestyle and Indian customs. That does not make them Indian. So culture, civilization, religion, tradition, ethics, ethos of Indian type, what they call Indian type, are not necessarily the same and they are not synonymous. So this is another fallacy, apart from the first fallacy of Indology and historiography. So much reference has been made about Takshashila, but nobody dared to use the word Pakistan. Takshashila is in Pakistan, is in Peshawar, and that Takshashila is supposed to be our pride, which happens to be in Peshawar, Pakistan. It is necessary to understand that till 14th August 1947, India meant Pakistan and Bangladesh and perhaps some other parts of local parts of even Myanmar. That's why Tilak, when he was arrested, was in Myanmar, in Rangoon, in Mandalay, and Subhash Chandra Bose was also in Mandalay, which is today part of Myanmar. So that was all part of, you can say broadly, British India. So when you talk of Indian culture and Indian past, that all is included here, and many people claim it is right up to Afghanistan. So cultures do not define national boundaries, civilizations do not define national boundaries, and therefore to use today's political polemics to define old civilization and old culture and old tradition is actually making a big argumentative fallacy. It is necessary, therefore, to understand that the Indological research today, if anybody wants to do, it is more done in the British universities and even in Russian universities, and let me tell you, even in Chinese universities. We may not be studying as much about the Slavic culture or about Chinese culture in our universities, but they have big departments on Indology and Indian, so-called Indian culture or this region's culture, which does not define in national boundaries. So I think it is necessary to understand these terms before we make a resolution, and therefore, since it is a fallacious statement, I do not support this resolution. Thank you very much.